We are brought to you by Boss Bears Supplements. That's Boss Bears Supplements at bossbears.co. Hard work, consistency, and determination are difficult to sustain when your mind and body can't keep up. Fuel your body with what it needs to perform like a boss. Whether you're closing deals, pitching a new business idea, or training in the gym, Boss Bears take your hustle to the next level. Our ingredients are the highest quality with potency and serving sizes that are the gold standard in the industry. Check out all of Boss Bears products at bossbears.co. They have apple cider vinegar gummies. They have ashwagandha. They have all kinds of supplements in delicious gummy form. They also have them in pill form if you don't want the gummies. I prefer the gummies. They are delicious, and I've tried the apple cider vinegar. They are very good. Use code Nicky at checkout to save 10%. That's bossbears.co, code Nicky. We are brought to you by Clout Power Supplements. That's KLOUTPWR.com. So here I have the protein, the Cravings protein from Clout. This one is the salted caramel. This is some of the best protein that I've ever had in my life. It's actually delicious. I like the salted caramel and the cinnamon swirl are my two favorites. Also, their pre-workouts are amazing. So they have the Karma Nootropic pre-workout. It's a nootropic and focused pre-workout. It's a lower stimulant formula, zero itch formula. It has 4 trademark ingredients, and has fully dosed ingredients. So far, the Arctic Cherry is probably my favorite of the Karma pre-workout. Also, try the Nero Aminos from them. And also the High Stimulant Mamba is some of my favorite too. And I really like the Arctic Cherry of that one. So go to cloutpower.com and use code Nicky to save 15%. KLOUTPWR.com. Code Nicky to save 15%. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Nicky Free Podcast. I am here with Alejandro Dzul from Dzul Ink Lounge in Seattle, tattoo artist and co-owner of Dzul Ink Lounge. How is it going, man?
It's great. Thank you so much, first of all, Nick, for inviting me to your podcast.
Yes.
I actually am pretty excited. We're about to do a 10-year celebration, so...
Yeah, man. So you guys have been in business for 10 years.
We've been in business actually for 20 years.
Damn.
And the location where we're doing our celebration, it's been 10 years in that location.
So so I went and checked out that location in Seattle. So that place has been open for 10 years, but
Yeah.
you've been tattooing for over 20 years?
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's crazy. So how did you get into tattooing?
Well, it's I never even thought of tattooing at first. I never even it never crossed my mind. But because me and my brother were into airbrushing.
Oh, so was airbrushing what came first?
Yeah. We started airbrushing, and then
and what kind of airbrushing were you doing?
Used to go to the fairs, like the Pacific Northwest Fair.
Or did you just go around and paint shit on?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So we did a lot of the big events of the Pacific Northwest for a few years. Yeah.
What kind of events?
Like the biggest events of the Rose Festival in Portland, the University Street Fair, the Hamfest, the Bite of Seattle, like all the the Pacific Northwest events.
And you were hired to do art for them, or
no? We basically just buy a booth and then
I got you.
Went on our own and did our art and.
And what kind of medium were you guys putting the art on?
On T-shirts, and basically on clothing, T-shirts, and that extended to different surfaces such as murals on walls and vehicles.
Right, that's pretty awesome, dude. When you make some big murals and stuff.
Yeah, we did a bunch of.
But vehicles, that's cool.
Like the lowriders.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of motorcycles.
We did a good amount of motorcycles,
Okay.
motorcycle helmets, and like the hot rods,
Yeah.
and like the like the Lolos, like the lowrider cars.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
dope, dude.
we
Okay.
even used to go to like the super shows of the lowriders, like Vegas, L.A.,
Mhm.
and all the even here in Seattle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super cool, man. So how did that well, first of all, how did you get into that? Was that something you guys started
Um,
as kids or?
Yeah, that's something that we were really in love with, like the medium of airbrushing, and it translated well because you could actually do pretty much anything,
Mhm.
and we loved the medium, so we started doing it on clothing, but we end up doing it on a lot of surfaces, and one of the biggest things is that people were requesting. Illustrations from it, right?
Right.
So they would come in
Like illustrations of them?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So like somebody would come in and say, "Do a portrait of me."
yeah, yeah,
Oh, or like a couple would come in and they'd want
yeah,
their picture together. Yeah.
yeah. So they would ask for their own, not only their portraits, but they've always wanted to get a customized piece, and then
Mhm.
that initiated the tattooing.
Oh, okay. So it started with selling the art first, and so whose idea was it to get into the tattooing? Did you guys just go buy, or did somebody go to school, or how did you figure it out, man?
Well,
Self-taught, or did you have to go like study under somebody, or
we were self-taught,
because
and
you already had the art,
yeah,
you already knew how to
yeah.
do art?
When
Yeah.
we started, there was a lot of people that wanted to get so we were offering custom airbrush, right? And
Yeah.
so what happened is people were like, "Hey, I want a custom tattoo," but the majority of shops are not willing to do customized work.
Okay.
And so at that time, when we started,
There was less custom
yeah,
shops at the time.
yeah,
Okay.
and so that's how we got our shot because people were asking to get something that was specifically for them.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with what's already made.
Hmm.
And then
So they weren't just looking in a book and finding something. It was like they wanted some artwork that was totally custom. Yeah.
it was totally personalized for them. It was totally made for them, which is now a more the standard. But back then, when we
It wasn't the standard.
no, it wasn't the
Okay.
standard. It was actually a very small percentage of people that would be willing to do customized work for them. So that's how we got our shot.
Okay, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So was that hard to transition from, airbrushing into? Because I imagine they're similar but different. Because
Yeah.
you're doing a spray, so the spray is a spray. Now you have to make all those little dots. You know what? If you're doing something with an airbrush and you're doing a shading, you can spray and you create a shading. Now you got to make all those little dots to be the shade. You can't
Yeah.
just spray. How did you transition, or did it take many years to get good at changing that, or was it just?
Uh,
Are they kind of similar enough where your artistic ability was able to
to
make
translate.
that transition? Yeah.
Yeah, well, the art that we were doing, it was pretty urban and street art already.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that people wanted as a tattoo, it was more of realism
Hmm.
into what more contemporary, right?
So you had to switch from this urban art to more realism. People were looking for realism in portraits and stuff like that.
Well, no, they were pretty similar because back
Okay.
yeah, they were pretty similar. So all we had to do is learn some of the medium.
How to use different inks and different.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
like needles, the machine, how to actually get the ink to look a certain way, the way we want it to look,
Yeah.
and translate to what we had in our mind to what it needs to look on the skin.
Hmm.
But it actually wasn't that difficult because the art that we were already doing, and one of the reasons people were asking for tattoos is because the art that we were doing was actually the art that looked very similar to the up and coming tattoo
Style.
yeah, which
Okay.
what back then it was what the realism was going to be, and then that was like the birth of like one of the biggest like mediums, which is the realism and tattooing.
And that's kind of what's taken over now, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so it was pretty much a natural transition.
yeah. It was a
It
natural
just like,
transition.
yeah, and so was that hard to like you know, going from like painting on T-shirts or like a vehicle, but then now you're stabbing into somebody's skin and everything. Was that hard to like? Did you guys transition that pretty easy, or was it kind of awkward or weird? Or you got? I suppose now you're like a master at it. You know, like,
and at the time in the very beginning, it was a little bit of a challenging, but we were pretty excited and we were really young, and
hungry, ready to go do something.
Yeah, and so all it took it was because everybody was willing to actually get tattooed, so it was a really easy transition in the sense that we already had a bunch of people that wanted to get inked up. So all we had to do was actually do it. And so, you know, we were super confident in the art and what they wanted. And so we were just learning as we went. But every piece we did, everyone seemed to love it.
And so did it take off pretty fast with the business? When you
It
was just going? Yeah. Okay.
Well, the funny thing is that it took so fast that we didn't have an establishment because we only were doing like fairs. And then we started the tattooing in our home.
Right.
And then it was, you know, it was a lot of requests, and we didn't really have a place just yet. And then people would knock at the door all times of the day.
So there was just people coming up to your door, just coming up to the house?
Yeah, it could be like 3 a.m. and people would be like knocking on the door. And the window.
So once it got going, it was not hard to find clients?
No,
it just kept going.
Someone would tell someone else and they'll be like, hey, I need a tattoo. And I'm like, who the hell are you, man?
Yeah, they didn't call ahead or anything.
I'm sleeping, dude.
Damn,
come back crazy. And hit me up later or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good thing, though, right?
It was very amazing. I mean, it was something that we never expect. I mean, we never even expected to transition to tattoos. But once we did, we realized that's something that we enjoyed even more.
Right.
And so we decided to actually hit more fairs and pick up the funds to actually open a shop.
And so when you went to the fairs, was that like you would set up a booth and that would just get you business?
Oh yeah. So you know let's just say for instance the Bite of Seattle. There's so many thousands of people that go into that fair.
Yeah.
And then we'll just pay for a booth. We'll showcase our artwork and.
So that's a great way to get clients.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then it just went on from a huge amount of fairs and events that we were hitting up.
Yeah, and then it just kept growing from there. And then so when did you get your first place?
2004 is when we opened our first shop, and it was in Y Center, 16 in Roxbury. It was kind of like the Y Center district. It was kind of like the shop area.
Okay.
We opened a spot there. It was very actually... a super nice area to start. It was a good value for a huge space.
Yeah.
And for us to begin, since we were very inexperienced to running a business at the beginning.
Yeah, was that tough to learn how? Because you had the art, because a lot of times artist doesn't necessarily mean you're good at business yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of a creative person, and trying to figure out how to transition that into business, that's tough because you just want to be, you don't want to focus on that part. You want to focus on the creating part, the fun part, but you have to start focusing on the business part,
It was very challenging at the beginning because we collect, we had saved up money and we realized it was going to take much more than we expected.
Yeah.
So we really had to hustle and work really hard to actually settle.
Right.
And, a lot of curveballs and things that we were not expecting.
Stuff you didn't see coming, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens with business, right?
But it was a good time to start because we were really young and ready to
take all that on.
Yeah, all that on, invest all the time, have fun, and we really definitely put in the work, pay our dues. It was a fun time. We were just enjoying the whole process.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were showing a lot of support. Mm-hmm. It was a great area to start. And then
you think Seattle is a good spot? It's really a lot of people want tattoos around here.
Yeah. Seattle is a great spot.
It's a creative spot. Yeah.
It's very artistic. Mm-hmm. It's super supportive, and it always has very good opportunities. that's why I always like Seattle.
It's a great spot to have your business, I imagine. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's amazing, and I've actually, even from the beginning, I've always not only been supported a lot, but it's been a really a full success even from the beginning.
Yeah.
It just I realized I quit my 9 to 5 when I hit like a couple weekends at a Swami.
Yeah.
When we started, and we realized that in the weekend we could do well enough to support ourselves and actually to learn more on our what we wanted to do, which was just
so you were able to transition because you were able to make enough during the week.
Just on 2 days on the weekend.
So those 2 days on the weekend was enough to like just quit the day job.
Yeah, because it was equally the same amount of money that we were making.
So that's the dream is getting out of the day job. So how was that when you first did that? What did that feel like? Was that like, did it feel like a huge success? Like
it did feel like a huge success.
Or was it scary?
It was both, right? But
yeah.
You have nothing to lose. You're young. You like me and my brother loved the art so much that it didn't matter. Like we worked 12, 16-hour days.
So that's the other thing too. You end up working way more when you go into business for yourself, right?
Oh yeah, we worked like,
and probably still to this day.
To this day, we're still work like a lot. But
you're doing something you love, so it's different, right?
Yeah, you do something you love. You just almost don't think of it as a job.
Yeah.
And even these 20 years have only felt like it's been 4 years.
So is it still really fun after 20 years?
It's still really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. No, I love stories like that because I think that's a lot of people's goal is to find something that they're passionate about, something that they love, and transition that into like what they do for a living, you know?
Yeah, no, and the reality is it's like there's a lot of things that you really have to like invest, but in the end everything pays off in the sense of like if you enjoy what you're doing and you're like stay on it, it actually turns into a good result, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, me and my brother and the business that we've been doing it for 20 years, like we're super happy. We still have a lot of growth.
And you're still growing now.
Yeah.
I was at your place now, and I think even since I was there, you just put a new floor in it.
Yeah, we put a new floor.
So it's still growing. You know, I mean, the place looks awesome too.
Yeah, we put a new floor. We added a room. We did a couple additions that we're excited for our celebration for people to come in and check it out.
Yeah,
there's a lot of new things that we've added. We added also more artists. We're and on this celebration we're going to be doing an art exhibition, so we're excited to showcase new art. Yeah, it's just
right. So how are you going to showcase the art?
So we have a wall that's like a basically same as a gallery studio. So all of that is gonna be
set up like a gallery showcase of all the artwork.
Yeah.
That's cool. What date is this on?
This is December 9th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay, dope. Okay, December 9th. Sick. I might even come check that out, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, and this is a free event, and, everyone's welcome. We want people to come in and just have the opportunity to check out the shop, check out some of the art exhibit, and then also meet the artists.
Okay. And so, how is your brother younger or older?
My brother's younger than me.
He's the younger brother. Yeah. Okay. Was it like one of your ideas, or was it just kind of both of them together? It just kind of.
Since we were artists since we were kids, and one of the dreams that was to do art for a living.
Just in some medium, in some form, do art for a living.
Yeah, and then we decided, hey, airbrushing is a medium that people likes. Let's showcase our skills. Let's start a business like that and see where it takes us.
Okay.
And then that grew into tattooing, then piercing. Also
so how'd you get into the piercing? It just, I suppose that goes hand in hand with tattooing.
Yeah, and I actually, when we had the other shop, my two sisters were the piercing artists, and me and my brother.
How many you got in the family? 2 sisters, 2 brothers?
We're actually 7 siblings.
7?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
We're 3 brothers tattooing at the beginning of the shop.
Yeah.
And then
so there's 3 of you total.
Yeah. 3 tattooers and 2 piercers.
Okay.
And it's all family. And then
there's 2 other siblings.
Yeah.
And what do they do?
One of them, it's a butcher.
Oh, no shit. Like meat? Like butcher? Like butcher shop?
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually kind of cool too. Because that's like an old, that's like a
old trait.
It's a lost art, man. Yeah, there's like, yeah.
Yeah, and then my sister, I think she's like a homestay mom.
Stay-at-home mom. Okay, I got you. That's cool though. A family business and everybody's got something to do, and you've built this thing together. That's really dope. So when you were getting into art and everything, what was like that? Were there certain people that inspired you, or certain kinds of art? Like where did or even now with your tattooing, and when you're doing pieces, is there certain art that inspires you, or like that you pull from, or anything?
Yeah, well, now that I've to where I am, it's always a collaboration with my clients, right? So
it's all kind of brand new,
yeah,
and it's going to be unique and different every time.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of all coming from you. But when you were first starting, was there anything like what made you fall in love with art? Was there something that you saw as a kid, or just like you know what I mean, like? So, like, if I was in a band when I was young, like, I hear Metallica, and that's what makes me want to play in a band. Was there any kind of artist or something that inspired you like that?
Yeah, so my father and my mother were always doing art, but they never considered themselves artists.
Yeah.
And so my mother used to sketch the clothing that she was going to do. And she used to make clothes for us, so she'll draw them up. She'll how she was gonna do it.
Yeah.
My dad used to draw with us and draw what he saw. So those were my first.
So both of them were artists.
Yeah.
Just naturally, but they didn't really. It wasn't something they did for a living, but it was around all the time.
Yeah, and
so you grew up with it.
Yeah, I grew up with it, and also in the community that I lived, there was a bunch of murals.
Yeah.
There was actually a lot of people. Like draw and sketched a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And actually, it's funny because when I moved schools, I realized that someone was like, "Hey, this kid is drawing. He's an artist." I realized it was like everybody draws. Everybody's an artist.
So you didn't even think of it as something special.
No,
because you grew up around it. It was just something. Well, of course, I can draw. Everybody can draw.
Yeah, and
it's just a way that humans express themselves, but. It probably took you a while to understand that not everybody has that talent, and maybe you have a gift.
Yeah, with time, it even to today, it's just like I think of it as just like being part of someone's expression. Yeah. But it took me a long time to realize that hey, I'm actually
this is you're humble about it, but it's something that's a talent for you.
Yeah.
That makes sense, man. I do enjoy that part of tattoo is. And kind of anything, even like with me, like I'm really into fitness and bodybuilding too. And I think you could probably relate to this because you have tattoos. And it's kind of like you said, it's a form of self-expression. So it's not like you're just going to, it's like you get to create how you express yourself and who you are as a person, right?
Yeah.
And so like how you present yourself and, what clothes you wear and what tattoos you get, how you have your hair, all that stuff is kind of like a form of self-expression. So that's why I think tattoos are so cool because it's like you get to like choose like how do I want to express myself,
Yeah, tattoos I believe and I see it a lot and it's like a huge stepping stone on someone life and I think if someone's celebrating a graduation or something that they've accomplished, sometimes they do it through tattoos.
Okay, so they'll get a tattoo to kind of commemorate some moment in their life.
Yeah, and even to this day, like if you look back into like even all the ancient history is like stepping stone on like a ritual, right? If like someone becomes a man, they'll like mark their skin, either scarring.
And certain cultures do stuff like that.
Yeah, and even to this day, it's like if you're 18, you get to to make the decision I'm doing a tattoo, right? So it kind of is a little bit like that.
So my friend is, so she studies Muay Thai, Muay Thai fighting, and she actually went to Thailand, and when they were there, they all got like these tap tattoos where I think they just like tap it in, like, isn't that crazy? Like, it's like a different style of tattooing, right?
Yeah, I've actually, here in the Seattle Tattoo Expo, I've seen it done a few years back. They bring the whole way that it used to be done.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
It is very interesting, and it actually, it's more amazing even to see the results of like how accurate and how good it looks, even with just minimal tools.
Right. Isn't that amazing? So what kind of tools do you guys use?
Well, it's, right now, a lot of things have evolved, and I'm actually grateful for that because it makes the process
Right. How much has tattooing changed in the 20 years that you've been doing it?
Oh, it has changed greatly, and for the good. Machines are much more smooth. We have wireless machines that almost look like pens. Where the coil machine could be extremely noisy. You could have a conversation with someone without screaming. Computers will help you a lot to.
Have they gotten better as far as like the pain too for people? Probably.
Yeah, there's
even less painful and stuff.
Yeah, there's even like now numbing creams and sprays that will help minimize the amount of pain. So it's almost like if you go to the dentist and imagine getting your
Novocaine. Yeah, they shoot that in there.
Yeah. So as tattooists, we can't do any injections or any of that. But definitely like the ointment or the cream, the numbing cream is something that it's being used in the last few years, and it really helps a lot.
It probably helps in some of those. What are the worst areas?
Like kneecaps.
Thinner skin.
Yeah, like behind the knee.
So any of that really fine skin, like probably top of the head.
Yeah.
How's the neck?
The neck is pretty intense.
Because I've always wanted to get something on my neck eventually, and I'm always like, I wonder how that feels.
It's pain is temporary. You know what I mean?
Well, and like that's part of it too. A lot of people kind of like the pain.
Yeah.
There's kind of a reason. Some people enjoy it in a sort of, in a way,
masochistic way.
Well, kind of in a masochistic way, because it's like maybe they're going through something in life, or maybe there's something painful, but it's a way to like make the pain external, and so if they're going through something emotional, now it's kind of therapeutic in a way, because it's like externalizing the pain into like real pain. So I can see that, I can get that.
No, and it's true. I think a lot of, and it's different for each person experience pain differently. I do see that some people do not feel as much pain as someone else.
Right.
And it's just amazing. You see someone getting tattoo in an area that is very sensitive, and they're like, if nothing's happening. And there's people who are getting a tattoo in an area that is, you would think is not painful. They're suffering. Right?
How's it been for you when you get yours done?
Dude, I do have to say there's some areas that are very sensitive, but I do believe that it's like, pain's temporary. Once you made the decision to go into get the tattoo, you're not
right. And I only have 2 tiny ones, so I really don't know. But for any time I've gone through anything painful, I think it's like a mental thing.
Yeah,
you just have to just kind of check out mentally and just focus on your breathing and just I don't know, kind of stay calm.
Yeah, it's almost like a meditative state where you can just gotta kind of chillax or distract yourself with something else and put yourself in another place to be able to just don't move and
you just kind of chill out, and that's like what it is like when you go to the dentist too. You just gotta be chill and
you just gotta get it through.
Yeah. I haven't been to the dentist that much, I guess. But I've had the Novocaine shot, like when you get your teeth cleaned or whatever. Yeah. That's not bad.
Like one of my most sensitive ones was my knee and my.
And that was the tattoo.
Yeah,
and the front of it or the back of it?
The front.
Okay, the front of the knee. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little sensitive in some areas, and then my throat right here.
Yeah, dude, that looks sick though. Yeah. So like, what's your favorite tattoos that you have? Like,
you know, now that my goal is to get a bodysuit with the tattoo in my face.
So no face.
No face. I mean, maybe like going into like the sideburns.
So I dig like neck up to like even like the sideburns. So like if you shave the head up to here and it goes around, that looks dope. But the face, I just feel like you got to keep your face.
Yeah.
And no offense if anybody's into like, you know, even Mike Tyson has that one on his fucking, you know, I mean, it's faded out, but he had that one here. But something cool about the neck and then up into the sideburns, dude. And if you get your hair done a certain way, it does look pretty dope.
Yeah, that's one of my goals, to get
those sides all done too.
Yeah, actually get my full head on.
Tattoo. Oh yeah, but then you'd have to shave your head, dude.
Yeah, so
I mean, your hair will grow back.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like it's gonna take a few sessions.
Yeah,
but
that looks sick though.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like if my girl hairs is not like, you know, I can be wearing my hair normal. And
well, that's the thing. So it's just always under there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your hair grows back, but then like maybe you shave your head for the summer, and it's like, whoa, dude, I didn't know you had that under there. Yeah, that's kind of cool, man. Yeah.
That's something that I'm gonna start soon, and I'm pretty excited about it.
You should. Is there anything? What are you gonna get up there? Have you?
I thought, you know, I think I'm gonna do like a pre-Columbian theme.
Okay.
You know, I think. Is something that I've been wanting to learn more about.
Right.
And then I'm actually starting to learn and starting to put all the pieces together.
Okay, very cool. So you research and think about them a lot before you put them on,
huh? Not
always.
Not always, but you know, on this one on my head, I want it to be a cohesive theme.
Yeah.
So I do want to put all the
work in.
Yeah, like make the composition.
Right. Because it's like people always say like, oh, it really matters, but it's like sometimes it's kind of like it doesn't really matter, you know, as long as you think it looks cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes people put a lot of thought into it, and then it's like, yeah, I understand that because it's permanent. But I also think sometimes it's like just pick something cool and like, you know.
Yeah, there is a big spectrum in that sense. Is like sometimes we get people who are just walking around and to celebrate the time that they're having. Is to go on the moment and just get a tattoo, right? Something simple, something that celebrates the moment they're at that point.
Other times you get really serious stuff, like someone's, you know, father passed away and they want to memorialize it, or
it's something that they've you know, like even have been wanting to do for a decade, and they finally pulled the trigger and said, okay, I know exactly what I want. I know exactly how I want it. Mm-hmm. And all I need now is to put it all together and go for it.
Yeah, does that end up feeling pretty fulfilling sometimes when you help people kind of do some, like maybe they've been thinking about it for 10 years, like you said, and it probably can be pretty fulfilling when you get to help somebody achieve that and realize this thing that they've wanted to do, you know?
That's actually something that I enjoy a lot, in the sense of like, you work really hard to create the piece, the composition, and then you also get to do the piece. And once you actually see it finalized or done, that's something that, you know, obviously people are excited about. And also a tattoo kind of take a life of its own. And so once it's on the skin, it's just, you know, something unique, something that speaks to the person who's wearing it. And for me, that's something that I not only enjoy, but I think it's a really cool process.
Yeah, and it probably feels fulfilling. Have you ever had anybody really angry about a tattoo? As a business owner in 20 years?
No.
Probably the majority have been positive, right?
Yeah. I haven't had the chance to, like, you know, like, have a bad experience.
Okay, good. That's a good thing,
Besides, people are, you know, sometimes, you know, they do change their mind a little bit. But it's understandable, right? It's something that they're going to wear for the rest of their life, so it makes sense.
And then you're able to kind of change it, and Now, have you ever had to cover up somebody else's poor work? Or like...
I have, actually.
Yeah, people come in, they're like, man, I got this when I was like 21. They're like 40 years old now, and they're like, I just can't take it anymore. Can we cover this up or do... I suppose you've done some of that.
Yeah, I've actually, that's one of my specialties. I do a lot of cover-ups.
Yeah.
And usually I do minimum of like 1 or 2 a week.
Okay, because that's like, there's probably a creativity that goes into that because you have to figure out how to cover up the old one and make it look like it's not there.
Yeah,
You know?
there's a lot of talent that goes into it. There's a lot of I guess strategies to make sure.
Because even like The Rock did that. You remember The Rock, like when he was younger in WWE, he had like that Brahma bull on his arm, and it was like, I mean, it looked okay or whatever, and he used to have it on his tights and everything. But then when he got older, he got it covered up with this giant like bull skull, and it looks like insanely cool. You know what I mean? Like, so that was a cool cover up because you can't see the old thing at all, and it looks dope.
Yeah, no, I actually do a lot of cover ups, and it's something that it does take a lot of.
Yeah, what's the most challenging part of that?
Just making sure that it doesn't look like a cover up, right?
So that it looks natural. It doesn't look like you just put something over the top of something else.
Yeah, when someone looks at the new tattoo that's covering the other one, they can't think of it as a cover up. They just think of like, this is a badass tattoo, without even thinking about it, unless they knew that was a cover up. That's what's the challenging. But that's actually the part that we have to hit every time we do a cover up.
Or like, have you ever had somebody where they have like their ex's name or something like?
Yeah,
they got to cover up like, this is my girl, but we broke up, and I want to get this name off of me, or like.
Oh, totally. Names was actually one of the biggest trends that happened at some point, especially like late 90s.
Oh, I was gonna say, in tattoos, is there certain trends that you've had? You live through all these different trends. And
There's always trends going.
Yeah.
There's definitely, right now we're at the point where.
What's the trend now?
I think the trend that is going right now is more of like self-expression, which is actually
a good
best.
Trend.
Yeah, it's a good trend because I think everyone gets to do and pick and choose something that speaks to them, versus before someone, you remember the like the 80s, 90s tribal, right?
Oh, like everybody had a tribal ring right here.
Yeah.
Or like that Godsmack tattoo, like around the belly button. Like the sun, the sun thing, the Godsmack thing.
Yeah, those actually turn having some of my biggest cover-ups. Like, I've done a lot of cover-ups.
A lot of people were like, I got this tribal thing like 10 years ago. It was probably more popular than now.
Yeah.
Now it's much more, you're right, like realism stuff, right? Like,
I think it's a huge spectrum of tattoos. There's like a lot of different styles, from like trash polka, microrealism, realism, hyperrealism, neo-trad, traditional. There's a huge big spectrum of what the styles are, like black art, black work. They're all like extremely nice, and I think and the reason being is because now you can do pretty much anything.
Okay. Oh yeah, I suppose with everything getting better and better. I was gonna say some of the cool ones that I really like is like a lot of like Japanese koi fish and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That stuff looks really cool sometimes. Or like, I was thinking there's a band, Trivium, this heavy metal band.
Yeah.
And the lead singer is Matt Hafey, and he's got just like the cool, and I think he's like half Japanese, so he's always like been really into that artwork. So he's got like really cool koi fish and dragon, and it's like, I don't know, some of that stuff's pretty dope.
Japanese tattooing has been around
centuries,
forever,
right? Yeah.
And it's something that is not only hold up pretty strong, and something that is still to this day very popular. We definitely have had our share of Japanese tattooing, and we love that.
It's so cool, man. So I have those. It's a manga book there. It's Berserk. Have you ever heard of Berserk?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like, I love that style, the artwork in the Berserk.
Yeah, even the manga.
You probably do Berserk manga, like tattoos and shit, right?
There is even a specialty of people who only do that specific theme and style.
Yeah.
We definitely have done our share of like manga.
Berserk tattoo. Yeah. That's crazy. I suppose if you're a tattooist, you've heard of any kind of like graphic novel. People are always trying to get that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely always like, I mean, in today, because of the amount of tools and self-expression, there's a huge demand for everything you can think of. And
like even like famous people, like they want a portrait of somebody on their arm or something.
Yeah,
like,
we definitely have done like portraits of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean,
really,
Tupac.
Tupac.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Nipsey Hussle. Yeah. It's just like.
What's the craziest one you've ever had to do? Like someone gets like Donald Trump on their arm or something?
We haven't done anything like that, but yeah, there. I think with tattoos, it's such an open medium.
Yeah.
And I don't see, I can't remember anything that has been like
crazy.
Off the wall.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm actually glad. Actually, no, I do have someone that requested something completely off the wall. It's actually a funny story. This guy came into the shop and he wanted to get some across his butt.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, let's figure out exactly what he wants, right?
Yeah.
And he said he wanted property of Roberto, with the OB in his butthole.
Oh my God. So was that his boyfriend or something, Roberto?
I'm assuming.
Oh man.
I'm like, hey man,
whatever
I appreciate that, but no thank you.
Yeah. Dude, oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
dude, I've heard of some crazy tattoos.
I think it was more like a joke for me. I hope.
Yeah, I don't know. There was I remember this one girl told me. So this podcast is uncensored, just so you know. Like, this one girl told me there was this dude that had like, he was tattooed, so he had like Papa Smurf, but so it was like Papa Smurf's dick was his dick, so his dick was blue, and then he had like a little like Papa Smurf around his dick, and they had I'm like, that's the craziest tattoo I've ever heard of. Like Papa Smurf, so a little blue guy. And
yeah,
it's just like what the fuck.
I hope his dingdom wasn't Papa Smurf's size.
Yeah, well, maybe it was, dude. Right? Hopefully not. It's like, bro, you got some issues. But that's not our place to say, right? That's his self-expression,
exactly.
Right?
Like, if he's happy, let him be.
let him get Papa Smurf on his dick, man.
Yeah, no, totally.
That's fucking wild, though. That's probably the wildest tattoo I've ever heard of.
Yeah, there's definitely always, and I'm sure a lot of people had the chance to see the internet and like the crazy tattoos, or ideas that people come up with.
Well, I always think that property of somebody else is kind of weird.
It is
because it's like, really, like, you just want to be owned by somebody. Like, I mean, that's how their relationship is. Whatever, more power to them. But
I've seen people that have cover up tattoos.
Like
I've
that.
actually covered up a few tattoos like that.
They're just in a different place.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly type stuff. Like, who knows if they don't stay together? Or I don't know. People do that. They get the tattoos of like each other's name and all that stuff. It's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely not a trend anymore.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, I think that's something. Yeah, like weird. Like, I don't know. That's a tough one, dude.
Yeah, no, totally.
So like the Undertaker from WWE, right? Like. Pro wrestler, Undertaker.
Oh, yeah,
big, huge, tall guy. He's all tatted up. He played the Undertaker. Well, he used to have his wife's name was Sarah. And so, like, we always remember that time in WWE where he had Sarah on his neck, and then it slowly started fading out because he had to get it removed. Because they ended up getting a divorce,
Yeah.
So it's like, just don't put names, like, maybe you're like, I get when people want to, like, do... if they have a family member pass away that meant a lot to them or something, and they'll get something that will immortalize it.
Yeah.
Like, I know one of my friends, I think she wants to get her dad's handwriting, because her dad passed away from cancer. And so she wants to somewhere get her dad's handwriting. And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because then it's like your dad's always kind of with you,
I usually recommend for commemorating or celebrating the relationship of one person to another is to get something that symbolizes the relationship, rather than like their name, right?
Yeah,
So
and maybe it's more meaningful that way, right?
yeah, it could be like, I don't know. I love the the forest. Maybe get like
oh yeah, something like that.
yeah, Pacific Northwest theme of to symbolize the relationship. If that ends, then at least it's not someone's name.
Right. So if it's your girlfriend or something, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, then you don't have to get the name covered up later or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty interesting, man. Tattoos, like, a lot of times you'll see people get famous people tattooed on them, or like, I don't know if you remember Steve-O from Jackass, like he got himself tattooed on his back or whatever.
A self-portrait of himself.
Yeah, that was so funny. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, I don't know, man. Some of that stuff is so silly.
No, I actually just, when I was in the internet, I saw his back piece of himself. It's funny as hell.
That is funny. Hey, I mean, if you're Steve-O, I guess it works for you.
Exactly.
But yeah, you guys I've seen a lot of you guys' art, and it's pretty awesome, man. Like,
yeah, no, right now we're, we're excited. We're growing as a business. We have a really good system. We work as a team to have a good way to for clients to reap the rewards of like a team effort.
Yeah.
So right now we have a designers team where we work together, artists and designers, to make sure we invest more time for the client.
Yeah.
And it turns out.
So that's the design part.
Yeah. So right now, we work together, and so when a client comes in, they do get the chance to work not only with the tattoo artist but with the designer. So the client will be working with like 2-3 designers to work on their piece.
Right. So how does it work? Like someone comes in and they have an idea. They'll come in, like, what? Explain the process that people would go through.
Yeah. So
just for if anybody's listening and they're interested.
Right now what we have is a system where we work as a team, where if someone were to come in or we'll set up a consultation where I work with my team of designers, where they take on the consultation. Then we team up to talk about what's the best way to do and work on the design. And they themselves work on creating it. We make sure that it's fine-tuned. We have an art review with the client to make sure it hits dead on of what they want to do beforehand, so they get to approve it. And then once everything's approved, then they come in and we'll make sure everything's like dead on. So they have plenty of time to change their mind. Yeah. And one of the biggest things is that, and I have, in my experience, is like people do invest a lot of good amount of time in figuring out what they want to do. And so a big percentage of my clients are already kind of know what they want. If not, then we're there to help them with ideas and even with the full design. So all we have to know is kind of get some references, the idea, and then we make sure we collect everything else. We do take notes. We take pictures of the area where it's going to be tattooed. We take measurements. Yeah. So when we create the design, it actually fits like a glove. Right. And even we go to the extent of mocking up the piece on their own picture. So if someone were to want to get a half sleeve, then we actually not only create the design, but we get the chance to actually mock it up on the computer so it looks like the person's already tattooed. Oh, that's kind of so they can even see like on the computer like what the finished product is going to look like. Yeah, even though it's slightly different than the real, it definitely it gives them an idea. Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Like so 10 years in the spot you're in now. Yeah, that's crazy, man. So like, how much has changed in 10 years? Even is it? It has changed a lot, and I think not only it has, brought a lot of good things for the industry, and also not only for the culture, right? It seems like it has become more self-expression rather than, you know, it used to be back in the days. It's like only
prisoners and like dudes that rode motorcycles, like motorcycle gangs,
criminals. Basically,
do you think it was looked down on more so in the past? Like now you'll see somebody like working at Microsoft that wears like a fucking, you know, dress shirt every day, and they're really clean cut, and they'll have like a fucking half sleeve. You know, it's much more.
Yeah, actually,
it used to be rock stars, you know, fucking motorcycle riders, rebels. Like now, it's like everybody's kind of, you know.
Yeah, and in that sense, I think it's a much better ordeal because, I mean,
it's less stigmatized. I would say
it's a little bit less stigmatized.
Still somewhat though,
but it definitely adds almost like a, you know, something good for the person who's wearing it.
It's more self-expression.
Yeah.
It's art. Yeah. You know, because it is like, even like, okay, like if you saw me, would you say I'm very tatted up? No. Like I barely have any, right? I have this little one here and this little one here. And like my mom flipped out when I just got these. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there is still some stigma. Like she was like, oh my God.
There's
like she freaked out. And I'm like, this is not even... Like, this is nothing. This is just like, you know. But, you know, for me, these tiny, small tattoos I have, they're very meaningful to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This one means something, and this one means something to me. But it is funny, like, you know, certain people still, you know, my mom's like from a small little town in the Midwest, so tattoos are scary, you know.
No,
but it's like they really aren't anymore. You know, like, I think they're just, like you said, self-expression.
Yeah.
And they're getting, you know, I follow so many people on Instagram, and it's like, I love seeing, I don't know, tattoos and they've gotten so good now.
Yeah.
That they just kind of add to your look, you know. They don't really have that, you know, thing where it's like, oh, it's like an outlaw or a prison. You know, it doesn't seem like that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely has transformed it completely something. Now is the complete opposite, where if you get a badass tattoo, you're like doing well. You know what I mean?
It means like, oh, he's
it's
doing
like
good in life. He's got some money in the bank.
You're driving a Bentley.
Yeah, man.
No, it's something that, you know, like I actually still to this day get clients where they you know, getting a tattoo, but they will not announce it to their parents yet.
Yeah, certain parents are still iffy about it.
Yeah, and it's understandable.
Yeah.
And you know, and sometimes I have long clients that come in and out for a few years, and they finally break the news to their parents that they're been getting tattooed.
They have to like kind of hide it from them and shit. Yeah, like they go to Christmas and wear a sweater and like.
Yeah, and then. You know, in the end, I've all the stories that I've been told is like the parents end up accepting it, and there's been instances where they even as a family come in and
they get a tattoo.
They'll get tattooed as a family.
I mean, to me that just seems so silly. Like, who cares if somebody wants to get a tattoo?
Yeah, no,
like I just don't see how. I don't understand what the stigma is. You know, like. It just still has some stigma,
Yeah. No, I've tattooed. There was a lady who came in with her grandchild, and she was around like mid-70s, and you know,
she got tatted up.
She got tatted up. Her first tattoo, she've always wanted to get a star on her eye, by her eye.
Yeah.
And then she came with her grandson. And he got his first tattoo.
Yeah,
you know,
that's kind of cool, man. That's something they can share together.
Yeah,
know? But no, that is cool. Yeah, it's funny though because it's like tattooing has been around for like centuries, so it's not like it's a new thing that humans are doing. So like the idea that it's like gonna be stigmatized, it's kind of silly because it's a very human thing. It's like, you know, even like what are there? Those, you know, there's like certain animals do it too. It's like we adorn ourselves with stuff, jewelry or clothing or whatever it is. It's
like
just,
color our hair.
Yeah, it's expression, like you said. You know, it's like, I don't know. There's even like those crabs that do that with shells. Like they put a bunch of shells on it. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think it's a natural thing that human beings do, is wanting to, you know. And then other times it would be meaningful, like in like the warriors would get tattooed, or like there's like certain reasons for it or whatever. But
the rite of passage where they have accomplished something.
Right, there you go. So it's a very human thing, right? So yeah, we should end the stigma against tattoos, I think.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like, was it hard for you to get over here in the snow?
No, well, I
because what you driving looked like it was 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, I'm driving a 4-wheel drive, and it wasn't anything that it looked pretty off.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like in downtown there's no snow at all. I actually didn't realize there was a snow outside the city until I got here.
There's just a tiny bit out here where it's like you got to be a little careful on these little roads so you don't slide into somebody else or something.
Yeah, I did realize there was a little bit more snow.
Like when I come around the corner and turn, I'm like, oh, there it's a little slippery. But other than that, they're fine out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was pretty easy, but I do get if I was driving a small vehicle that was a 2-wheel drive.
Right, when I saw your vehicle, I was like, oh, that's why he's able to make it. Like, no problem. If you got a nice vehicle like that, you can go anywhere in the snow.
Oh, yeah, this is nothing, like, as far as the snow.
So are you from here originally?
No, I'm actually from Mexico City. I'm actually from Mexico City. I lived in Seattle the longest.
Right.
I came up here on my mid-teenage years. To Seattle. I did my high school and college education here.
And was that just because your parents moved you here?
My brother was living here in Seattle, and then I moved in with them.
Okay, and then the other brother too.
And my brother followed me. Then my brother.
And you
left.
stayed here just because more opportunity, or did you just kind of like it?
I did like it, and there's definitely once I started my career, there's something that the opportunities were growing, and the lifestyle became something that I just enjoy.
It's still growing and thriving here. Yeah, if you're trying to start a business, it's a good spot to be. There's so many people here, so it's a good place to support a business.
Yeah, Seattle is actually like. I mean, I would say even to this day, it has huge amount of opportunities. There's a lot of things a lot of opportunities for starting a business of any kind.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, coffee shop.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Clothing
here.
Business. I mean,
do you like coffee at all?
I do like coffee. I don't drink coffee right now, but I love coffee. Every now and then I
have a little coffee. Yeah. No, I do too. I probably shouldn't drink it as much because. So I drink coffee, and then I go to the gym. I take a pre-workout, and then I go to work, and I have an energy drink, and I'm like hopped up on caffeine all day, dude. I'm like,
that's one of the reasons actually why I stopped drinking coffee, because then I get very little sleep.
Yeah.
Not only I'm already like
amped up from work.
Yeah, and
because how many people do you do a day? Like, is it like a long hours?
It is a good amount of hours. I do actually only I would say 70 to 80%. I do one client a day. Just spend all day on them.
Yeah.
But I do when I did started tattooing. And when we did events, sometimes I would tattoo 12 to 18 people at one day.
So what's the longest you can go without your hand breaking down and getting tired, and like, is that really tough? Do you have any issues? Like,
I don't have any issues with my hands, but there's something that you have to really understand the process of tattooing and use the tools to make sure not only does your grip in your hand does not get tired, but also that you can actually execute the tattoo properly.
Right.
So I tattoo for 12 hours on one shot, and I can tattoo the same the next day.
So that's about the longest you want to go.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, traditionally I tattoo anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours a day for most of the time.
And do you kind of take breaks, or do you do that all week every day, or is it more like you do 2 or 3 days in a row and then you take some time off? Or
right now I do 2 to 3 days and then take a day off.
I think that's the best way to do
2 days.
Yeah.
It definitely it helps you unwind. It helps you be more
stay sharp. Yeah, because that's the thing. You have to stay sharp when you're doing what you do, right?
Yeah, but I do have to say that I was reading that it does take about 20 to 30 minutes to get pretty focused into something.
Yeah.
So I think because I've done it for so long, it's something that it's just kind of like my bread and butter is like, I'm all for it. I'm all
It's
good.
actually not even hard at this point. It's just natural.
It's something that I not only enjoy, but it's something that I've been doing for a minute.
Because I've seen people that work on like cars and stuff too, and it's like similar. When they get going into it, they disappear into their work.
They zone in.
Yeah, and it's like impressive. It's crazy. Like especially if they're into like painting and stuff like that, like detailing cars, painting. I don't know. It's pretty wild the way that they can get so focused, and like even when they're taping things up to paint a car, like the way that they can do it. And it's like if I try to do that, I'm like, how the hell do you? But they get so good at it. You know what I mean?
No, and honestly, it's actually something that I think has made feel like it's only that I've only done this career for like 3-4 years.
Even though it's been 20, it just flew by.
Yeah.
The closest thing I can think of is welding, because I used to weld. And so the only similarity, to tattooing would be having to like maintain a position where like if I have the welding gun, I'm like this, and I have to like go right down a seam or something, and it has to be very precise, and then you have to focus on your body so I don't get tired, or how to have your body position if you're trying to weld this or weld this way, and because you can't. When you're welding, you can't wildly move. It's very precise movements too. So it's kind of the only thing I can think of that I could kind of relate to tattooing.
No, you're right. There's definitely like an art form into like even to the breathing.
Breathing too,
it's
right?
Almost like your breathing could affect the way you pull your lines, the way you position your body, and like those lines be straight.
Yeah, there's no messing up. You're literally on somebody's skin, so there can't be a mess up.
Yeah, it's like only one shot.
Yeah. Well, because even welding, like I had one shot, but if I fucked it up, I could like grind it out, and it wouldn't look as good, but I could fix it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But with somebody's skin, you got to be pretty precise, I imagine, and. Like you say, it probably just becomes second nature to you.
Yeah, it's something that once you're doing it for a minute, it's something that you're almost intuitively do it. Yeah, and it's something that actually you just see what you need to put on, and then you put it into skin. It's something that the connection between the eye and the hand, it kind of gets into a rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's like being an artist, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I know like even people that are painters and stuff, when you watch them paint something on a canvas or some kind of medium, it's pretty amazing. Like if they do mess up, they make it so effortless that you don't notice it.
Yeah.
And they fix it so effortlessly that you would have never even noticed that. If they did mess up or they pulled something too far this way or that, they just correct it.
It's just it's just part of the piece.
Yeah, it's part of the piece, and they make it fit in. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So that airbrushing, that's like on motorcycles and cars, that gets pretty impressive too. Like some of the artwork that you see with airbrush, like that's amazing to me.
Yeah, no, airbrushing, I love the medium. It's something that we did for a huge amount of years. Even to this day, we do it. We don't offer it as much.
Yeah. You probably are so focused on
tattooing. Yeah, we're so focused in tattooing that the reality is like we don't have that much time to do it.
Yeah.
But it's something that we really enjoyed, even
Still
to this
something
day.
You enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
So, here, I was going to show you this, dude. This is like one of my favorite Megadeth album covers. And dang it, I guess I can't blow this up. But so this was done by a guy that painted motorcycles. So that's all airbrushed. So he did that on metal, and then they photographed it, and that became like the album cover for this Megadeth album. And I just think that is so dope. I don't know why.
No, there's definitely a lot to effects that airbrushing can make look like freaking just
Yeah,
amazing.
it is crazy, right? But like, I imagine he did that on a big medium, and then they took. Well, it's hard to find a big picture of it, but anyway, you get the idea. It's pretty cool. Like, airbrushing is. Oh, there's the full.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
what it looked like. Oh shit. Well, never mind. But yeah,
No, I
impressive.
definitely get the picture.
So he painted this big thing right here, and then they turned that into the album cover, and it's like, I don't know, that's pretty dope, dude. So airbrush is a cool medium.
Yeah, I mean, even today, we do have a bunch of paintings in the walls of the shop.
That are still like your
That,
airbrush
yeah,
work.
we do have a huge mural in the in one of the walls. It's in the main floor. There is
That's
nothing
kinda
but
cool.
airbrush.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know why that's such a cool, just a freaking cool medium, dude. I'll have to show you this. I made like a, when I used to weld one time, like we used to build trailers, you know? So like we had you'd flip the trailer upside down, and you put these big axles on which the tires are going to go on, and they get all bolted on and everything, and then once the axle's on there, you spray paint the axle black. You know,
Uh,
so like, it's already black, but it's like a dull black, and it might be rusted a little bit. So you put fresh paint on it, and so you would take this like scrap metal and hold it so that you don't overspray. So while you're spraying the axle, you're holding this sheet metal behind to block this overspray from getting on the rest of the trailer. So you're spraying, and then you got this sheet of metal with like this like overspray of black paint. And I used to like, sometimes I would take like a screw, and I would just like sketch things in the black and like make art out of it, you know. So
yeah,
that was kind of cool, man. You know, like I'll show you. I have this one that I did. I still have it on Instagram, but
that's remind me of and I think you might have seen is those people who, when they don't clean their windshield, and
yeah. And then
then
somebody will make some amazing work of art in the dust. That's what's
yeah,
crazy about art, is how you can. It's just expression. The medium doesn't. It's like there's so many mediums, and it's like, I don't know. You could see some pretty cool art in some, like you said, like the dust of someone's car. Or like, that's impressive when people do that. That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
or those poses where someone just paints freehanding upside down. It's just a lot
Or
of
like
cool
those
stuff.
ones. I don't know how those dudes do it now, where they're holding that big stick with like like all the different. Have you seen that on Instagram?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And they're doing multiple pictures at once. I'm like, how though? Have you ever seen that?
I have.
Because I'm like, how are they doing that?
Yeah.
Like, how can you think about all four? Or another one is like, you'll see on Instagram, somebody will take like something folded up and start cutting out of it, and they're like looking at a picture of like a basketball player or something, and they're cutting stuff, and then they unfold it, and it's exact fucking
What they
replica
see.
of this like, you know, famous like sports guy or something. It's like, but how do they do that? I guess that's what art is. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, you don't really know how. The artist knows how, but
Definitely, it's something that like working on their craft
well,
and
because if I watched you tattoo, I'm sure I'd be like, how is he doing that?
yeah,
You know, like,
yeah. There's definitely when creating art, there's a lot beyond the meets the eye, as they say, right?
yeah.
There's a lot of things.
It's like a feeling too,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of it's feel, because I mean, is that what, when you get good at sketching it, it's like just trial and error, right? Because you've done it so many times that you kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah,
And
even going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's like if something became, it was a line that it was not supposed to be there, it just becomes
it's
part
part
of
of
the
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just all
It can always. It's never. You get so good that you never really can fuck up anymore.
yeah.
Because even if you do fuck up, it's really just part of the thing now,
It
and you
looks
know how to
good.
blend it in, and you know how to like, yeah.
Yeah,
That's so crazy, man. Art is really cool.
hell yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. So, with the 10-year anniversary coming up, what do you guys have for like future goals with the business? What's the
So one of the biggest future goals is to keep growing. You know, right now we are gonna get more artists into the shop. grow our crew.
So more tattoo artists,
more tattoo artists,
or more artists to design, or both.
Both. And I mean, we have the space. We're established. We have a good system. We have a good demand. So
yeah, good client base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a before I've never even considered or thought about it.
But now you're in a spot. It's like it's different.
Yeah, it's
You've
different.
grown. You're in a growing period.
Yeah, like at first I was like, I'm taken care of. I don't need to do anything. Like I'm good. But I think it's always good to grow, and the more you can take on, the better you would do, right?
And it's a natural growth. It just feels right at the time, right? So it's the time to do it.
Yeah. So we're in a. I guess one of the main goals is to add more artists, front and back, and just.
And that will allow you to take on more clients. Less waiting time, I suppose, for clients.
Yeah, definitely. It would expedite the investment and return for each client when they come in. There'll be more artists to pick. There'll be more options. I mean, right now I'm super happy with how we're standing and what we're doing. And it's just nothing but growth from here. It's something that it has continually been happening, and it's something that we're all in the same page to keep moving up. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we are gonna have all the artists right now, designers, tattooers, who are gonna be exhibiting the work at the shop for the art exhibit for the celebration, and then it's gonna be display, and everyone will get the chance to check out everyone's art.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's gonna be pretty dope. So you'll have art from many different people there.
Yeah,
and open house so people can come check it out, and yeah, that should be good, man. That should be good for business too, and kind of showcase the new shop with the new floor and everything.
New floor, new rooms, and new setup, more artists. It's it's.
I was gonna ask you too. So was COVID pretty hard on the business, or was it okay to transition through, or was it pretty rough? Or
I think it was both, in the sense that COVID, when everybody had to shut down and you couldn't basically do anything, right? I think we were all in the same boat, and so the business had to be completely shut down. But we were always well established, and we had been booked for like months in advance. Mm-hmm. When COVID hit, we had to orchestrate of moving all of our appointments and continuously moving them.
Yeah.
And so, but everybody was super understanding.
Yes.
Due to the fact that obviously, as everybody,
there was nothing anybody could do about it.
Yeah, everybody was aware of that. And then when was the chance to reopen the business?
It was almost kind of good in a sense, wasn't it?
It was crazy because,
at least for me, COVID was good in a way. It kind of reset everything for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for us too, in the sense of like, tattoos, a lot of people have like tattoos in their bucket list, right?
And so it kind of made them wake up like, oh shit, like
there's
a deadly disease going around. So it's like, damn, I need to like do some of these bucket list things, because you never know what's going to happen, right?
Exactly. And then actually we were, the demand was even 2 to 3 times higher.
Yeah, so it's almost like COVID kind of made people appreciate life, because it's like,
oh yeah,
you see that it could be taken away like that,
Yeah, and the reality is like, if you don't have to get ready to go to work and then commute to home, you get 2 extra hours or an hour or 30 minutes, right?
So now all of a sudden they're like, hey, that tattoo I always wanted, I finally have time to get it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's probably because I mean it was great, obviously, for like Amazon and any delivery places because like they made tons of money during all
And
that.
with the addition of technology of like Zoom and
So you
video
could do
meetings,
consultations, you could set up. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
so
Dude.
it facilitated and made it much more easier, and also it was just a good setup, right? Everybody
Yeah,
was kind of now into the video chatting and video communication. So for us, it was like you don't have to come into the shop, because if someone lived in Tacoma or Everett, even Eastern Washington or Portland, and they're
yeah,
traveling here to the shop and they want to get in, it's like we can do the consultation uh,
all through Zoom.
or through Zoom,
Yeah.
through video, and then get everything and even do the art review. So when they come in, they already approved, they already seen, they already went through everything. All
Right.
they have to do is get the tattoo.
And so then was there a period where they started letting you guys have people back in? Like
And
and did that start slowly where you just could only have like maybe one person and it had to be 6 feet apart? And
yeah, when the chance was given to reopen the business, there was a lot of rules where you had to keep a distance. So
it was slow in the bar, very similar. Like, because I work in a bar and it started out really slow, when they reopened. So,
we had because we have closed rooms. One artist was in the main floor and another was in the back, and a
so you had
completely
enough, you
sealed
could
room.
keep people far enough away from each other.
Yeah,
And yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. So it wasn't too bad then.
it wasn't bad at all, and I think the for us it was more of like rethinking the way of how we were
Yeah.
communicating, and
Right,
so
and yeah, so like a lot of places, you realize that actually you could do a lot more without in person.
yeah,
Just like most businesses found out, like, oh my god, like most of our most of our employees could literally just work from home,
yeah.
and they figured that out, and it's like it is kind of funny. You realize how much you can do online nowadays. It's pretty wild. And then now some businesses are like making people go back to work, but other ones have adopted more where they still let a lot of people work from home, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no, I mean, and it's what one of the things that we changed to. It was like doing a lot of more video, more phone,
yep.
and then having them come in already when everything is done.
So really, you kind of adopted some of those things, and then they stuck around after COVID
Oh yeah,
because you
yeah,
realized, oh, this is actually like easier and better for the client too.
yeah, and I mean, it works perfectly because if someone's, let's say, visiting Seattle and they're coming, let's say, from Chicago,
Ah, they want to
and
stop in for a tattoo.
yeah, they ahead book their appointment. They send all the references, have their consultation.
Yeah.
The artwork is prepared. They're pre-approved. They approve everything, and by the time they actually hit their appointment, it's like nothing but tattooing time.
Just
Right?
that. That's all they have to come in for. So like, yeah, because a lot of people do that on vacations and stuff, and like even a lot of people that travel, like comedians, musicians, anybody that travels a lot, they like to do that. Like if they know they're gonna be like in LA for a certain weekend, they'll book a tattoo appointment with their favorite artist or
Yeah,
something. And
yeah,
like, so yeah, that just the ability to do all that groundwork ahead of time, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Then when they
yeah.
just come in, it's all done, everything's ready to go, and now you just come in and we do the work, and then you get to go home.
Yeah, no, it definitely has helped
Yeah.
a lot. In I mean, in the way we even have our system set up, where we have a team where can host the consultations, whether it's in person or via Zoom, facilitates to invest the time to go through every detail that we need to go over to make sure that when the design is executed, is dead on.
Okay. Yep. So it's precise and perfect, and it's done. It's done when they come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what? Besides tattooing and everything and running the business, do you have like other hobbies outside of it, or are you just kind of all consumed with the business?
Right now, I'm completely consumed with the business. I do like one of my hobbies previous to that had been like photography and painting, but I haven't had the opportunity to do much of that. But I, when I get the chance, I still enjoy it. I mean, I used to even enjoy like ballroom dancing a lot.
Ballroom dancing?
Yeah.
So you would ballroom dance?
Yeah, like salsa dancing, bachata dancing. That's something that.
So where do you go to do that?
There's a lot of studios, there's a lot of salons, there's a lot of clubs that actually do have that, like Century Ballroom in Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
There's this place, Salsa Con Todo, in Wallingford.
And that's something where you have a partner, right?
Yeah.
So like
partner dancing.
And how does that work? That's like I'm trying to think of what that looks like.
It's have you seen Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, it's like that.
That's basically,
so you're doing a routine together, basically.
Kind of.
But there's certain moves that you could just go wing it. If you had a
freestyle.
partner to dance with, like you and her could just do it because you know how to freestyle.
Yeah.
But then because that Dance with the Stars, they do like where they plan out these
out the whole routine. But in the clubs and the studios is more open.
So what got you into that?
Well, I when I was a kid, I learned to dance.
Yeah.
Salsa.
Like in a class or something?
No,
or
just naturally.
Oh, because it was just part of the culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when I was living in Seattle and happened to run into a club where they were doing it, I was just amazed that.
It's a thing.
It was
You're like,
thing.
I found something that I like here.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's really fun, man. Do you have any plans to start doing any more of that? Like,
not right now, but when I get a chance, I do definitely like to go out there and just enjoy.
See if you still got the moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because like if you don't use it, you lose it, type of thing. So like,
What's fun about dancing is like riding a bike, right?
It comes right back.
Yeah, and it's something that it's like in Alki Beach, for instance, they do summer dances, and there's like 300 to 400 people that go to those. It's open, and it's like it's fun. I mean, you have like this huge crowd. All different,
and everybody's kind of gathered there for a similar hobby, right?
Just to enjoy themselves.
So it brings people together.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy how that stuff is so cultural, like dancing. Like you just learned it growing up. That's like so like my grandparents, they were always in like even up to the day they died, they would do these like it was like polka. You know what polka is?
Yeah.
Like polka dancing.
Yeah.
So they'd play like polka music at like there'd be like these town festivals and stuff, and like God, they were like in their 70s and like even 70s and almost 80s, and they would like go polka dance and like it's something they've been doing since they were in their 20s. So like it was kind of always emotional when they get together because you're like, oh man, that's like really cute because it's like that when they first met each other and fell in love, they were doing this, and now they're still doing it when they're like 80. It was kind of beautiful in a way, like.
There is even at the Folk Life Festival, and I've seen it. They still host the polka dance.
They still have polka even around here. Yeah, that stuff's wild, dude. You ever listen to that polka? And I suppose salsa music has a certain style to it too.
Yeah, no, I mean, what's good is also that most of the clubs and studios, they do end up at every beginning of the event, they do host classes, and they usually teach. So they
teach some salsa dancing.
Yeah, salsa. Then
so you can get into it if you've never been into it. So it's like, yeah.
If you get there, you can take the class, meet other people, and then be able to
learn how to do it. Yeah, that's cool because it's like another thing that brings people together. So that's always a good thing,
Oh yeah, it's definitely something that it's very social. It's easy to meet other people and then just dance.
And then so when you guys at your shop, you said you have 3 tattooists now.
Yeah.
And the way you have it, so do you guys like? Is there like certain music you like to listen to while you're tattooing, or do you do something for the client? How do you guys do it?
I think it's completely open when it comes to music. It's like, if like me, I'm super open to like,
It's not going to affect you. You're just like, I'm chill with anything.
Yeah. So, I usually ask my clients if they want to listen to anything specific, let us know. Right. Usually clients are like, I'm open to whatever.
Yeah.
But, we have a huge spectrum from like 90s hip hop to like trap music.
Yeah.
To like rock to, you
just get a mood in there. Like, So it's probably fun to change it up too. Like,
it is.
Like, what's everybody in the mood for? And then you find something good.
And we all each as artists and the whole crew we all kind of work next to one another. And we do have like different vibes. So we do play music, when
to keep everybody kind of like
if someone's feeling it's like, I'm just gonna play something for me, they do it without even. It's just
right. It's chill. Yeah. So like somebody likes rock a lot. So like, he's playing that. That's cool. Like, let's create a vibe in here today. Like, what vibe are we going for? And
and it's almost like the way I grew up with all my siblings, right?
So you're used to like sharing,
yeah. Each of my siblings played completely something else. They were into something completely slightly different than the others. So it's good. I think
that is good. Yeah. Well, it's fun that way. I mean, that's kind of like what it's like when you work in a bar. You just have to like. Everybody has different stuff they like, so you just kind of like go with the flow,
Yeah, and it's actually even beneficial because you get the chance to experience other music,
something that you maybe wouldn't listen to. Yeah, keeps you experiencing new things too.
Yeah, we have this also this huge TV when we're tattooing and to play movies or shows for people.
So you'll actually play like movies sometimes. Like, do you guys have any special favorites or anything? Or?
I myself, because we're gonna be tattooing, we don't really.
It's just gonna be background.
Yeah, it's gonna be. But for the clients, it's like, we have...
They might actually get to watch it if, like, so you're doing their arm, they could, like, sit there and watch it.
Yeah,
right?
And it's something that is actually, it pulls them in so they're not completely focused on...
They don't even feel the pain then because they're focused on this movie.
Yeah, let's say the tattoo is 2 hours, they watch a movie that they've been wanting to watch, one of their favorite flicks, and then boom, the tattoo's done, they get to watch a movie, it was their day off, so they got to relax.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That gives them a good experience then.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's music or movies, is something that we rotate a lot.
Do you have any favorite movies yourself, or?
One of the ones that I did like was Avatar, so I'm excited to see the new Avatar.
Dude, I'm stoked for the new one. I saw like there was a commercial on TV the other day for it, and there was like. Somebody was sitting at the bar and the commercial came on. They're like, man, does anybody even care about this? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, you're the only one that doesn't care about this, dude. This is like huge. Like, it's going to do huge at the box office. It's Avatar, dude. Like, it's James Cameron. Come on.
Yeah, I watched that movie like hundreds of times.
That was a great movie.
I'll just play
a great movie. Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that.
When is it coming out?
I don't know.
This month or?
Yeah, when was the first? When did the first one come out? Like 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago at least.
The new Avatar. Let's see. When does it come out? I'll look it up quick.
Yeah, I think 2010.
Isn't that wild? They waited that long.
The first one. So 12 years maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane, dude.
But that works with movies. Like, it usually. Okay, The Way of Water. December 16th. Oh, that's coming right up.
Yeah, that's next week.
Oh, yeah, that is next week. Wow, it's already going to be
Oh, no, yeah. That's
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
But how is it already December?
Yeah.
This year just, like, flew by, man.
Yeah, I'm still pre-COVID. I'm still thinking it's, like, 2018, 2019.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, because COVID was such a rush. It was like time stood still, but also went really fast. And then, like, you wake up and it's, like, 2022, and you feel like it's like 2018, but it definitely feels like 2022. And
we're about to be in 2023. That's insane.
Yeah, so is that like something where you look back at like the year 2000 and you think, how are we so far away? Or do you, because to me for a while it was like, it felt like 2000 was just like yesterday. Now I'm looking back and it's like, no, it feels like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely is.
It's finally set in, Yeah,
it's
things have changed so much.
Yeah.
I can't even relate to like how things were. Like, you know, when you were in the year 2000, everything felt so new. You know, because that was about when I was like graduating high school, like, you know, in the 2000s and everything, and it felt so new. And now you look back and it's like looks so old. Like you see a TV show from like 2000s, you're like, oh my god, that looks ancient. You know, like
or the comebacks, right? Like the 80s, and then now the 90s return.
Oh yeah, those are big now, aren't they? Yeah, like the 90s stuff. Dude, even like this girl at work, she's like watching Friends. Like she's like mad that Friends isn't on Netflix anymore, and it's like, you watch Friends? Like that show is ancient, but it's like it doesn't even seem that long ago at the same time, you know? Like,
well, it's funny that, you know, like say for instance, I was like, hey, let's play some oldies, right? Me thinking of like, you know, Elvis Presley.
Like that's an oldie. Yeah.
But then you look for oldies and it's like it's the 90s hip hop.
Oh yeah, dude. It's like I think of like the oldies. I'm thinking of like, you know, like Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath. Like that's like 70s rock. That was like the stuff when I was a kid in the 90s that we would listen to. You know, that was like the bands that I listened to. They were all influenced by like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. So I was like listening to Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Nirvana. And it's like, you know, now oldies is like stuff from 2010. It's like all of a sudden like Blink 182. That's oldies. You know, it's like yeah. So that is kind of weird, right? Are you right? Like 2000s hip hop. That's oldies now.
I even heard like the Blink 182 was.
They're getting back together.
Yeah, they're redoing a new.
That's kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands getting back together and coming out again. Like Smashing Pumpkins has a new album and they're going on tour. Like a lot of them laid low during COVID, and now that COVID's over, they're like going balls to the wall. They're like ready to tour and everything. You know?
Yeah, I mean that. Actually, that's something that it's really good, you know.
It's exciting because it means like we're making a comeback, and it means we're healing and recovering from what we went through as a culture. You know what I mean? Like the country and all countries, the whole world actually with the COVID thing. So like the idea that all these bands are getting back out there and stuff's starting to like, you know, albums are coming out again, movies are coming out. It's like we're kind of healing as a culture from what we've been through.
Yeah, every event that I've been into lately has been packed.
Yeah, and I think it's like, you know, because for a while people felt like unsure if they'd ever get to have moments like that again.
Yeah.
You know, because it all got taken away.
Well,
so.
Remember when they did they reopened and then they brought it back?
Yeah, like I remember I was so worried for a long time because I'm like, even when we first got the mask mandate lifted and we got to start going to work without masks, I was like, is this going to be something where like in 2 weeks they tell me I have to put a mask back on? And it didn't. It was finally it. But like, you're right. It's because like that did happen where like they let us free and then they backed it off again. Yep. So then it was always kind of like, you know, you're scared. Like, is this really? Are we really through this? You know, and it's wild.
Even to today, right? There's a possibility that
who knows?
We're gonna get back into another state.
I hope not. Like even like China, they're like protesting to try to move on from it right now and stuff.
I just saw a post.
That's scary over there.
Someone was saying that the scientists discover a zombie virus.
What the fuck was that? Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, what was that? Like
something trying to put fucking fear onto people. That's hilarious.
Oh, dude, some kind of I saw that too. Let's look it up quick because I was like, what is this?
Yeah, that kind of put me through a loop. I was like, "Well,
what?" You're like, "What?" And where was this posted?
Remember the what were they talking about? Like the African bees or
those death hornets.
Yeah,
it's like what else can we use to scare people? Oh, it says scientists revive zombie virus stuck under Siberian permafrost. The microbes, if released into the world, would pose a significant danger to public health. But what is a zombie virus, dude?
Exactly.
So, like, stop digging there. We don't need no zombie virus, you know? Like, yeah, if you're digging this up, stop doing it. Like,
yeah.
I don't want that to come. God, think of that if a real zombie thing happened. Do you have any, like, zombie movies that you like?
You know, what was the Legend?
The Legend?
Or I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. That's such a good movie. God damn, dude. Yeah, I was like really into that video game Last of Us.
Oh.
There was this game called Last of Us, PlayStation, and then they made a sequel to it, and it's a zombie video game, and now HBO made it into a series. So like the series will be coming out. I think zombie stuff is so fun to watch. I don't know why.
Well, dude. I hope it's not reality soon.
I hope it doesn't become reality ever, no. Could you imagine that? Oh my God.
Oh man.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst thing is like those zombie shows, they always have like somebody you love becomes a zombie. Or like your friend and you have to kill them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like, I don't know, it's creepy. That'd be scary. We've talked about that on here before, like zombie apocalypse stuff, like who would survive in a zombie apocalypse, you know? I don't know.
Well, the way things are going, it's kind of hard to say who.
I don't think I would survive. I'd be like trying to go to the gym and they'd be like zombies and shit. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. So you were into that too, going to the gym, working out and everything?
Yeah, I'm actually, I go to the gym near the shop. I go to this place, Elliott Bay Community Fitness.
Okay, cool.
It's a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
It's, I love it there. You know, it's a good routine. I get up and do my workouts in the morning.
Yep.
I definitely love that. It's, you know, I think it does set you up for the day.
Mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely it wakes you up.
Yeah.
It keeps you in shape.
It makes your whole day better.
Yeah.
Especially when you start in the morning like that. And, you know, even for you with tattooing, I imagine, like, you have to be a certain level of fit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, it's actually more work than you think, I think. Or than people think.
Yeah, it definitely is.
You have to have stamina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, one of the things that working out has helped me is to, even almost think of it as a workout. Right.
Right. Even tattooing is a workout in a sense because you're holding positions.
Yeah.
Like rigid positions with your body. You know what I mean? And that's hard, actually.
It actually resets your body because you get in these really awkward positions where doing the workouts actually helps you
keep mobility
and resets your body, and also gives you that strength. You know, and the way now that I've been doing it for a minute. I realized the workouts are only between like 10 to 20 minutes, the higher percentage of workout, but it's high intensity, and that's it, right? It's like,
so it's going to keep your cardiovascular health good. It's going to keep your lung capacity. It's going to help burn fat. Yeah,
and it really
and mental health. It's going to reset your brain every day.
Oh yeah,
it's going to give you those endorphins and make you feel good. And then when you go face the day, you're like ready to go. You know
it definitely gives you an edge to stay on top of things.
Yeah,
I really believe that has helped me a lot.
Yeah,
personally.
Is there do you have any kind of eating style that you do, or is it like? Because I was going to ask you, do you have any favorite spots over where you're at in Seattle? Because there's some good spots over there.
There's so much good food in downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
There's this Thai place called Bangrat Market.
Uh-huh.
It's a really good spot.
Yeah.
I like the wasabi sushi. There is a new place, Kana, I think. It's like a new Indian food just around the corner.
Yeah.
We have these just a few locations from the shop. We have a teriyaki place.
It's always great.
It's a really good spot. We also have these. It's fresh off the boat. There's this poke place.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You get to basically choose your own
stuff you want in the bowl, basically. Yeah.
And it's not only super healthy, but they give you a good amount.
Portion size.
And portion size.
So bang for your buck.
Yeah. Yep. And then the cost for it is extremely fair, and it's like healthy, good amount. I mean, for me that I eat a lot.
Oh yeah.
Just eating there is like dead on.
Yeah. So when you're going to be really hungry, you have to find a spot that's going to be relatively decent price, decently healthy. So like, yeah, I always feel like there's like tiers for places. So like, that's a place you can eat more often because it's good, you know. And then every once in a while you go to a more expensive spot, but like that's the one you go to the most because they have, you know, that's kind of what it's like. So if I'm like in a pinch and I don't have because I do meal prep and everything because I'm doing a bodybuilding show and stuff, but if I miss a meal or something, I'll always go to Chipotle.
Oh yeah,
because you know I know that I can get like the stuff that I need there.
Chipotle.
The rice, it's cheap. You get rice, chicken, the basics. So if I forget a meal, I can run to Chipotle. But yeah, a lot of those teriyaki places are great for that too.
Yeah,
because you're gonna get, you know, the basics, which is like a protein source and some carbohydrates and some vegetables.
The steamed rice, and then whether it's the chicken or the beef.
Your basic stuff.
Yeah, and if you don't put the sauce for the sugar or the
sugary sauces are where they get you.
Yeah, you don't have to. You
don't have to get that,
and then just put a little bit of soy sauce. You're dead on. You know, you get your carbohydrates and your high protein, and you're set.
But yeah, where you guys are, there's a lot of good places there. Dude.
Yeah. Belton has really good spots for food, and I freaking loved every single place around it. I've actually, a lot of them have been my favorites for a few months. And then I move on to the next, and then make my way back to every single spot.
So you get to kind of try different things, and you don't wear yourself out at any one place. Then.
Yeah, no. And the 10 years that I've been there, I've tried it all. I mean, I even order from like all the Grubhub and Uber, you name it. Like,
so yeah, if you guys are having a busy day at the shop, you just want to do Grubhub or something, get it delivered because you don't have really time.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and
so it makes it convenient.
Yeah, if we're feeling for something specific, we just order it. And then, right now with through the pandemic, everybody was delivering food, right?
Yeah.
So it has made it really easy.
And now they kept doing it a lot of places. Because a lot of places did that, like you said. They'd made these changes during the pandemic, and then they realized, like, oh, we could keep doing this. So they just kept doing it, like.
Yeah, I mean, even Whole Foods or Safeway, all the deliveries, right?
Yeah, they deliver too.
Yeah.
Even that Amazon Fresh, that's hard to not use it because it's like some of the deals on there are so good, and I'm like, they just deliver it right to my door. It's like, you're trying not to always use Amazon, but it's hard not to.
They have those stores where you can go and just pick up the stuff and walk out. It just takes it out of your phone.
Oh man, the convenience of that is like crazy.
You don't have to sit there and
go through the checkout and everything, and yeah, that's pretty dope, man. But you guys are in a good spot.
Yeah, the shop is basically, I would say, about three blocks from the Amazon Bowls and one of their stores. Yeah. So it's pretty close to everything. It's close to the Seattle Center, the Space Needle. It's like the market. Like I go to the market even sometimes.
The market has such good stuff.
My breaks, they have amazing food there. They have good products.
They do. They have amazing seafood, breads. I mean, everything.
Should I even go there and get like flowers for the shop every now and then?
Just to like spruce it up in there,
yeah.
Make the vibe look nice, and that's great. Those do like make a place look nice, and customers enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Just like have something make it. Well, and the other thing too is like you guys tattoo, like flowers is kind of one of the things you guys do really well.
Yeah, flowers is one of the things that we do a lot, and it's something that it's super organic, and it's something that, I mean, who doesn't like a flower, right?
Yeah, and there's something about it looks so cool in black and white. It's like
very artistic. It's like, like actually one of my things that I do a lot, it's like floral and flowers. It's something that I've, whether it's color or black and gray.
Right, yeah, it's cool. One of my friends has sleeves that he got from you guys, and his stuff, he's got like a lot of flowers and, I mean, other stuff too, but it just looks awesome. Yeah, really cool sleeves, so. Yeah, that's really good, man. That's cool.
I myself have got a few roses, and I'm thinking of adding more on my calves.
What do you got right now? Full sleeves?
I got full sleeve, full torso on the front.
Yeah.
And I got almost
Up
full
to the
neck.
yeah.
And then I got part of my calves and my knees.
Yep.
So my goal is to be like
full body
suited. So my next piece is either my back or my head.
Back or the head. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did that take? Like, as far as how many years have you put into like everything on your body now?
I would say about 18 years.
It's been over the course of 18 years.
Yeah.
What was the first one you started with? Dude?
I got a tattoo of an angel.
Yeah.
Here that my brother has been the artist that has done all my tattoos. My brother Jacob, who works with me in the shop, he gave me my first piece. It was an angel to symbolize fate. You know, it's
That's
one of my
cool.
first pieces. Yeah.
And then it kind of helps you guys learn too, as when you were first starting. I imagine if you could do stuff on each other.
It's definitely some like, you know, we tattoo each other in tattoo pieces that we want, and that also we strive to do like a pretty good tattoo.
Well, because you're gonna learn from it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So do your brothers have a lot of tattoos as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just part of the business, I suppose.
Yeah.
But.
Right now, I'm working on my brother's. He's doing a sleeve. I'm working on the design, and I've been tattooing a few pieces on these traps and neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm almost done with this piece.
Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah. I actually have it posted on our Instagram. It's pretty.
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Well, let's see. We are getting close to being done here, so what else would you like to say before we sign off? Well, obviously promote the 10-year thing again, and let people know about the open house, what they can do, what kind of stuff do you got going on, deals or whatever, you know. And
so on this 10-year anniversary, we're gonna have a canvas for everyone to go and do art if they want to.
Okay.
Or sign it off. We're also going to have a book to where they can write something if they want to. And we're going to be taking pictures. We have a photo wall, and we have a room that we just added to where it's going to be souped up for pictures as well. So we are ourselves going to be doing Polaroids and stamp them with the shop, so that they can take it as a
souvenir.
Yeah, it's a souvenir. Where all the artists in the shop are going to be showcasing their work. At our exhibition and gallery section. We're going to have some dance performances. We're actually going to do some salsa dancing.
Are you
not myself?
Okay.
But I do have friends in the community who are still...
so it's going to be a big celebration.
Yeah, it's going to be a good celebration. Yeah. It's going to be pretty fun. I mean, in our previous events, we've had even burlesque dancers. And we don't have one for this time. We're obviously going to have a DJ, and we're doing a raffle, a contest where we have different tiers where we have a free tattoo, which is like a $500 free tattoo that everybody is welcome to enter. Doesn't cost anything besides signing up. And then we also have one that is for $5K that costs $100 to enter. And then we have a $3K that is $50 to enter. And then we have a $1K that is like $25 to enter.
That's pretty dope. Yeah. So you buy a raffle and then you get entered. Okay.
And what's cool about that also is that we have pre-existing designs, but it doesn't have to be any of them, and we get to, whoever becomes the winner gets to do a fresh customized piece
so they don't necessarily have to pick from a book. They can choose something that they just want themselves.
Yeah, and all of our existing clients as well as anybody can enter the raffle. You know,
that's dope, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking nice, because if someone, let's say, wants to do like a half sleeve or do a big piece, and they could potentially win
that $5K.
Man, it only cost them $100. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to do like a full sleeve and they could pay half of that money with that.
That's
you know
so
what I mean?
dope, dude. Yeah.
So, but it also depends on the art, because some of it, some art pieces are more elaborate than others.
Oh,
so,
yeah, it just depends, right?
Yeah,
the pricing.
It depends on the style. Depends on how big the piece is going to be, and so the money can go a long ways or not. It depends.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're getting.
How intricate the piece may be.
Oh, man.
So those are like the kind of like the highlights. There's gonna be a lot of different things. We're gonna put the red carpet for people to come in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I'm
really
pretty excited
celebrate your
about it.
customers and 10 years at that spot. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment, 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously longer than that, because it's been 20 years in the making. But just to be in that spot for 10 years, like, you think about that. That's 2013. That's a long time ago now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're going to have also refreshments and food.
Yeah.
We have this amazing guy who's going to cater the event, who has even competed in chefs program.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name?
Let me see. I have to check.
Yeah, we should shout him out while you're here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But so it'll be like food, dancing, music, raffles. So it's going to be a cool experience then.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the... I have to ask my... one of my teammates who set the whole thing up.
Oh, yeah. So what kind of food, or do we know? Or
we're going to do Mexican and American fusion.
Okay.
So
December 9th.
Yeah, December 9th.
Starting at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m.
No, 8 p.m.
Oh, 8 p.m. at night until
11 p.m.
Ah, so late night. That's gonna be more fun.
Yeah.
That's when the shit gets going.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's a Friday, so it's
Friday night, 8 p.m. I mean, so basically, it's kind of a party.
It is
in a sense. Yeah. So that'll be fun for people, dude. Like,
yeah, no, I'm super excited. I mean, I'm just like.
Yeah, it's a big milestone, dude, for that to be there 10 years and still growing and hiring new people. The business is growing and you guys are doing great, so you should be proud of that,
I'm super proud. I'm super excited. It's something that we've really have worked hard for it.
Yep, and you deserve your success. So, yeah, shout out to Dzul Ink Lounge in Seattle. Everybody should go there December 9th at 8 p.m. and check out the open house. And Alejandro, I thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you, Nick.
I appreciate it, dude. This was a lot of fun, and you can always come on again, man.
Hell yeah, I'll be happy to.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you next time.